you see the numbers I sent you from Pro Day,
Yes.
from Iowa's Pro Day? And Tyler Elsbury, who is not even, I mean, like, he was not some cemented starter at Iowa. And here's a guy who, these RAS ratings.
Yes.
He scored an unofficial 984 out of 10. 984 out of 10, Mark. This ranked 27th out of 1,639 guards from 87 to 2025. I don't know why this isn't being talked about more. Should we throw this up on the screen?
Yeah, I am right now.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's again, it's some of these, just because you have good hands and you have really good speed and really good agility and really good explosion, like, that doesn't mean you're going to be a great football player. But man, doesn't this make you think, why wasn't this guy first team All Big Ten? He's playing at Iowa under Kirk Ferentz. He's testing out this well. Why on earth was not he a dominant All Big Ten player for Iowa? Why was he just a rotational guy at Iowa for so long? The dude is also huge. Like, you saw him on the field. We said this several times over the last couple of years. Like, he looks the part. Why wasn't he the starter? Now, there were times where he played center. They moved him over to center due to injury, and it looked like he played well, but for some reason, he never could hold on to a starting role. So these numbers are just insane to me. He's listed at 6'5", 318. The only thing he wasn't phenomenal with is his 24 bench rate. But everything else, his vertical, his broad jump, his 40-yard dash time. So he runs a 5.15, which for a guy his size is, I would say that's pretty good. I'm not some expert on 40-yard dash times for 320-pound men, but you see his 20-yard split, 10-yard split, all elite. His three-cone was great. His shuttle time was great. So, yeah, I mean, it's 984. I haven't looked at other ratings for other people, but that one did strike me.
And again, off the top, didn't you say where that ranks overall?
Yeah, this is an unofficial rating, but with this unofficial RAS rating, it ranks 27th since 1987 for all guards. It's the 27th best rating, all guards tested, and that's 1,639 different players since 1987, and it ranks 27th.
Wow.
I mean, how do you explain it? How do you explain it other than just had a good day? I mean, he had his Wheaties the morning of Pro Day. I mean, I don't understand that whatsoever.
He's in the top 2%.
He's in the top 2%. Yeah, and he only logged like 700 snaps.
Yeah, he's in the top 2%.
He logged 700 snaps during his career at Iowa, which is nothing when you think about it. Jay Higgins, for this class, he scored a 3.34 out of 10. So Elsbury, 9.84. Higgins, 3.34, which ranks 1,941st out of 2,911 since 1987.
And how about Nick Jackson? Did you see his score?
I haven't seen his score. And I guess
he did better than Jay, actually. I try to remember where I saw it. I don't remember.
Let me see. Let's see. Here's Elsbury. I see Logan. I don't know. Let's see. See Logan Lee's from last. I know Logan Lee tested really well last year.
Nick Jackson.
What is it now?
I'm catching up with the chat here.
Do you see what I'm talking about there?
What is this about? Can I ask what this is about?
I have no idea what it's about.
He thinks I'm obsessed with eggs and ham or something, and I'm like, dude, what?
Does he have an infatuation with
I think he might.
with Dr.
Is it
Seuss or
because
something?
we started talking about eggs? Is that we were talking about breakfast foods? Maybe that got Chris going. I have no idea.
Last year, Logan Lee tested 920. Cooper DeJean. So you could just say, well, those scores aren't based on much, but Cooper DeJean tested 985.
Wow.
Which was 39th out of over almost 2,500 corners since 1987. So he tested exceptionally well. Certainly that's panned out. Trying to find some other, let's see here, other prospects.
Let me see. Nick Jackson.
Luke Lachey. Luke Lachey tested this year as an 869, which is pretty good. 161 out of 1,200 since then.
Now, this is in contrast to your response to most of the team's performance at the combine.
Yeah, but Ellsbury didn't go to the combine. Didn't get a combine invite, I don't believe. So he's one guy. And remember, Higgins did not test well at the combine. Now, neither did Lachey to some extent. But you're right. These numbers are better than what he demonstrated at the combine. So again, part of it's just sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day. You don't want to have a bad day at the combine. Lucas Van Ness, 2023, 939, which is 101st out of 1,600 defensive ends since 1987. Sam Laporta was over 902, which ranked 109th out of 1,100 tight ends. Rusty Feth was 557, which was just average. Y.A. Black tested here this month, 357 out of 10.
Oh,
That's his RAS score. Remember, he did not test well at the combine either, Mark. That's good for 1,183rd out of 1,800 defensive tackles since 1987. Jack Campbell, he tested out 998 out of 10, which was good for 6th out of 2,600 linebackers since 1987.
How did Laporta do?
That surprises me. Jack Campbell's not fast, for one thing.
Jack Campbell's, I've got his numbers right here in front of me. His 40-yard dash time was 4.65, which was considered decent, but his 20-yard split was excellent. His 10-yard split was excellent. His shuttle and 3-cone were elite. Obviously tests out very well, height and weight and vertical. These numbers almost impressed me, like seeing how RAS, which is relative athletic score, Kent Lee Platt, I believe, is the guy who founded this ratings system. It does sort of, I don't know if scouts look at these things. They're looking at combine results, they look at pro day results, but you asked about Laporta, Erica.
Yeah.
Laporta was 902, so pretty good.
Yeah, that
2
is
years
pretty
ago.
Good. Yeah.
And Logan Lee was the other guy that tested pretty high, given the fact that he wasn't. I don't know where he ended up going. Did he end up with the Steelers? I think he ended up with the Steelers, but he tested out 916 out of 10.
Didn't he end up getting put on the field as a tight end, or wasn't there talk of it or something? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know about that. His rookie year, he's only been in the league 1 year.
Yeah, like when it was before the draft happened, and he was just talking with the press about how the teams were talking to him, what how those discussions were going, and I might be confusing with somebody else. I know there was at least one defensive player where they were talking to them about going to the other side of the ball as a tight end. So I'm just curious.
Could be. He's got good size. He's not a real wide defensive tackle. Sebastian Castro, Mark, here's one from this month, scored a 4.48, which is 600th out of 1,000 strong safeties since 1987. Which was, again, right on par with his combine. Did not test out very well at the combine. They don't like his height. They don't like his weight. Don't like his – which this one's interesting. Given how we looked at him at Iowa and how he played, it looked like he was a shot out of a cannon half the time. His composite explosion grade was poor, like really poor. That's where he hurt his stock the most. His speed grades were okay, but his explosion grades were not. So, this is all very fascinating. But
I wish I could find
Riley Moss was 990 back, by the way, 23rd out of 2,100 cornerbacks when he tested out since 1987.
Wow. Yeah, I remember I saw Nick Jackson's numbers somewhere, and I'm trying to look for it as I listen to you talk about the others.
Yeah, I don't
I'm not
see
finding
Nick
them.
Jackson because obviously he didn't get an invite to the combine, so I don't know how he tested out.
Well, I'm talking about the pro day that Iowa just had.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't even, like I say, he wasn't at the combine, so I don't know what he did at pro day either.
Did I see this correctly, or was I clicking on a link that was probably a year old? Because I was looking at Iowa football news. This was a day ago, and or maybe it was the day that we were supposed to do our Tuesday, and I saw where Spencer Petras was throwing on pro day.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and there were certain people that were just applauding and, oh, what an Iowa guy, and just that's fine. I don't have any interest in revisiting that era, and he may bleed black and gold and be a great person. I personally, as someone who covers Iowa and is an Iowa guy, don't want to see him on the staff, because that's what I've heard a lot of people this week.
Oh, please, no.
Put him as an assistant on the staff. Hire him immediately. And I'm like, for what reason?
No, thank you.
He may be a great guy. By the way, 7 Iowa players got invited to the combine.
Who on the Iowa receiver core is eligible for the draft that pro scouts would be looking at, that Spencer Petras would be throwing?
He was throwing to like Lachey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who else he's throwing to, but he was throwing to Lachey.
I wouldn't trust him. Like, if I had 3 receivers who were in the thick of, needing to look good on a pro day, you've got to throw the ball.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I saw somebody on X comment, which is sort of mean, but somebody on X commented something along the lines of, well, if Lachey had any chances of being drafted, there that goes.
Well, Lachey, that's actually somebody I was going to bring up, because I have to say, I feel bad for him, because he got so hurt by his injury. Like, his stock got so hurt by that injury. And then, of course, the new system didn't do him any favors, it seems like, either. So I feel like it's really a shame in his case.
And I will say he was a guy who last year, not this past season, but the previous season, if there was anybody that had really good flow, rhythm, chemistry with Cade McNamara, it was Lachey.
Yeah.
Even more so, you could argue, than Eric All during the first 4 games. Lachey was, he was riding high those first 4 games of 2023. So that was, of course,
what Sam Laporta was for Petras.
Yeah, I think part of that's the system, right, Mark? That was the last year of the Bryan system. Say what you want about the Bryan system, it was very tight end oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped guys like Laporta and Lachey. I do think I think Iowa's, until otherwise dethroned, they can remain tight end U, but at the same time, I don't know, with this new Tim Lester system, based on what we saw last year, if that reputation will continue, just because I don't know how much tight ends are going to be utilized in the past.
Yeah, I was worried about that too. I was just thinking about that.
I think tight ends been that prolific at Iowa before. I think it's more about how much they have developed and progressed into the NFL.
Yeah, I think to some extent, but like George Kittle still got a lot of looks in college. I don't know where Lachey is going to get drafted, and with those numbers, and maybe that's just a anecdotal. It's just an individual problem that he's got, but he didn't test very well at the combine. He tested okay, I guess, on pro day, but he's got to get in somewhere and prove himself somewhere and stay healthy. Like Erica said, he had a pretty serious injury his junior year. And I don't know, like after that, they got some good talented guys on the roster right now, and Stringa and, Ortworth and Burt and Gavin Hoffman. They got the kid coming in from Clear Lake, Thomas Meyer. But I just wonder if tight ends will, not like Iowa's really been able to land the 4- and 5-star tight ends. They've done it with guys that weren't projected to be great players. Noah Fant, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, none of those guys were highly touted.